Okay, we're trying this again. Hello everyone. Hopefully you can hear me a lot better now. We switched the microphone that it was set up under to see if that will be better. Please let me know how it's working for you on your end. And let's see. So we're gonna continue on. So I'm gonna kind of start over. So just in case, because I will have to disable, well, not disable, but unlist the previous live attempt. So hopefully if you're here with me, you can hear me better and it's not going in and out. And then let me know as you're here, where you're watching from. If this is your first time here or if you've been with us for a bit, let me know. Let's see. I'll make sure this is working as it should. So, okay. So we are working on doing some fake donuts, and I was trying to mention earlier that we have so many different ways, but the most common way is using Plaster of Paris, which is this right here. You can get this at at Home Depot. And you just, the directions, you just mix it, with water, depending on how much you're going to need. You kind of go by that or just do a little bit at a time, keeping in mind that it starts thickening very quickly. So, so just keep that in mind. As far as the time frame, so Plaster of Paris takes a little bit to dry, and depending on your what you're making, which is why I say it's not necessarily difficult, it's just time consuming and there's more steps. So you have to mix the Plaster of Paris with water. Then you have to make sure you pour it in, don't wait too long. Make sure you kind of clean it up a bit, because then of course that's going to be part of your item that you're making. If you leave anything out, it'll be all connected unless you wipe around it. The next thing is that you have to wait for it to fully dry. I did these last night and I can kind of feel some dampness still even on the outside, so I'm sure on the middle it's not fully dry. So even though I can do that to it, it's probably not fully dry. So I like waiting a day or two, depending on what we're doing. So the more bulky it is, then the more time you may have to wait in between. Like when I do my ice cream cone, since the mold is so deep, it's like a cup. It takes a little bit longer. So after that, once it's fully dry, then we would have to sand it down to make everything nice and smooth, or at least that's what's recommended before you do anything else. Then you have to do, it's kind of like well, you can see the color. So the color, it kind of absorbs and soaks in the first set of paint or two that you put on there. So you kind of have to decide depending on what color you're going to want your item to be, depending on what you're making, not just in this case, fake donuts, but whether you're making your ice cream cones or you're making the macaroons or whatever you're using, but depending on your mold, if you're using the mold, then you would have to kind of paint accordingly. So for this case, and even for bread, I use the light mocha because it's kind of leaning towards the color that I would want to use. But that way I don't get too upset that I've used most of my the right color that I mix together, with my caramel and the yellow and all of that, because then a lot more goes into it. So I do a couple of paints, a couple of coats of that before I go to the actual color that I want my item to be. Now this is when I'm using, of course, the Plaster of Paris. So that being said, then we start the painting. And then we go into decorating. So that's all the different steps with that. So these were made with the Plaster of Paris, and of course it's nice and hard. I did not do the sanding or anything like that to these. I wanted to show you just how they are. Most donuts, if they're made, by hand anyways, they're not going to be 100% perfect. So that's what I kind of go by with regards to fake bakes. When we're doing it at home, not everything is perfect and exactly the same every time we make it. So that's my thought behind it. So that is that. So I'm going to get these out of the way. A little heavy. So the next option is using Model Magic, which I love to use. It's very easy to use. I'm going to open this up. You can get this even at Walmart. And the container comes with several pouches of the Model Magic. And I get the white one. I think there's variation of colors out there. But that way I can paint it whatever color I want, depending on what I'm making. So, anywho, so it seals very well. Model Magic, and it has some, you know, some instructions on the bag as well. Let me go ahead and, well, let me just move this that way. And it's basically like putty, and you can shape it any way you want. You don't necessarily need to have anything else to shape it in, but you can, depending on what you need to do. You can still use, like for the donuts, for example, if you want to use the Model Magic and just push it on there, you know, shape it and then get it all evened out, you can do that as well, and then let it dry, and then you can go to painting. But I'm going to show you something else that's a little bit easier. So that's why I said this is going to be the easiest way of making the donuts. So I'm going to move these out of the way because I still want to decorate these. It's going to take a little bit for the Model Magic to dry, and I do have some paint already started on the other side. So let me get some more. And this is just parchment paper. Anytime I'm dealing with Model Magic, paint, plaster. Hi, Monica! Yay! Thank you for joining us. We had a little snafu earlier. I had gone live and I had to stop the recording and the streaming because my voice evidently was going in and out. We had a Karen and I think Deborah with us, and they kept saying I guess the video was fine, but my voice kept going like, I don't know. So I had to change microphones. So I had to, instead of having everybody waiting, I went ahead and ended the stream and restarted. So here we are. So I'm glad the sound is a lot better. Happy to be back. So, okay, so this is the Model Magic. And you can use this on the molds as well, especially if you have the little one for making like macaroons, or if you're going to make your own sprinkle kind of things. I use something else for that. I'll probably do a video on that as well. But this is just like putty. I'm going to go ahead and open it up a little bit more here. And you just take the amount that you believe you're going to need. And then you go to shaping. So, another wonderful thing with this, you can shape it into anything you like. But you can start the coloring at this stage. Instead of having to wait on shaping, drying, sanding down, then doing the pre-paint, then the painting and all of that. With Model Magic, which is why I call it the easy way of making the donuts, you could actually put the paint right onto it. It's just a little bit more messy, but, and I'll show you. So I'm going to go with, let's see, the classic caramel. And all you do is just kind of stretch it out some so you can work your paint in there. And just do a little bit at a time. Whoops, that's not a little. That was a big gulp. But the idea is to do a little bit at a time because of the mess it kind of makes, which is why it's nice to have some parchment paper or something underneath. But see, the paint kind of starts coming out, but it gets mixed in there with the Model Magic. So it's like, it really is like putty. You just mix it in, kind of like you're kneading some bread, some dough to make some bread. You're just kneading it, working that paint in. And as you need more paint, then you put more paint in. This is also how I would make the bread. If you make rolls or bagels and stuff like that, this is also the best, easiest way to do that. Except you get paint all over yourself, which is why I have the trusty handy wipes around. Okay, I'm going to do some more on the other side. And I did it again, but that's okay. So most of the time on the process with the Model Magic will go on this process while you're mixing the paint in there. Now, I've seen some, and it works well to do it that way as well, to just kind of shape it in what you need and then paint it later. So that's definitely an option. It would help, I guess, maybe do both and see which you prefer. I kind of go back and forth depending on what I'm making. So got paint all over me. So how are things, Miss Monica? Oh, I hope you do. It is so much fun. And the wonderful thing about doing the fake bakes, with the other things we do with crafting, you know, with the wreaths, the swags, and different things, you can make them in a way that you can use them and incorporate it into your wreaths and your swags and all of that. Because then you can, while it's still not dry, you can put a hook on it, you can run some wire to it, and then let it dry with the wire, and it makes it easier to get it attached. Or for the cake pops, for example, you could do the sticks, and you can use that to attach it to the wreath or the swag. So I would definitely recommend it. That way you don't have to buy the stuff. Okay. Doesn't look as dark on the screen that I can see, but it's already getting that color. Starting to look like the, almost like a red here. That might have been a bit too much. Let's see if I can spread it. I always do. I like using Mod Podge, Mod Podge, after I'm done creating any of my fake bakes. For certain, any time that we do the decorating, which I'm going to show here in a bit, when you mix the paint with the acrylic, we use fast dry acrylic, for at least for the fake donuts or anything where you're only going to need a little bit of like frosting. That's basically your frosting. So when you do that, the paint and all of that, it's good to use the Mod Podge because then it prevents it from cracking. If you don't use it within your mixture, it'll crack it. So after a while, then your fake bakes will start cracking a little bit at a time. So that will definitely be a tip, to do it before, like during, and then also do it after, which is what most people will call it sealing them, to kind of give it that extra gloss at the end. But mixing that paint and our fake frosting, mixing it with the Mod Podge beforehand, it's definitely a good way to go. I don't know if you can kind of see the color now. So you can keep doing that until you get the color that you want, or you can get it close and then shape it, and then you can do the rest of the painting. So I am going to just shape it now as is, just so I can show you some decorating. Alright, so a donut. This is all I do. And then you poke a hole through the middle. La la la. And this is that. Just kind of make it as big, as thick, or as little or thin as you'd like. And then just kind of smooth it out. And then you put it to the side and let it dry. And again, don't be too concerned with it being 100% perfect, because most of the time when we bake at home, it's not 100% perfect. There's some imperfections, and if we make the same thing in a day or 2 or 3, it's definitely not 100% the same as the last time we made it. So that's my thought behind it. Okay, so there it is shaped, and you basically would do the same thing if you were to make bagels. Hint, hint. Just a little tip. You could do bagels. Just got to change your coloring. But you can leave it like this, and that way you'll be able to decorate it how you need. You know, when you make, when you buy the donuts, they have that little line in the middle that's a lot lighter than the rest because, you know, it's fried on both ends, but it's usually a little. So this color basically will give it that color that you usually see right in the middle of the two when it's, you know, so it'll give it more of a natural look that way. But there it is. Okay, and then we could just put that to the side and let it dry. And then we can go to decorating, which is what we'll be doing with these today. So, I started doing, because I kind of wanted some milk chocolate. I started mixing the paint with the Podge before we went live the first time. Just to make sure that I had some Podge mixed in there before doing the whole fast drying acrylic, you know, they call it acrylic latex. What are they? It's like a whole bunch of names. Caulk plus silicone. It's just like a mouthful of stuff. So this basically becomes your frosting. Now this is the same as, let's see, I have my small container way over there. Let me see if I can lift my big one. When I've done the bakes, I think I've done a couple of them, I use this instead because I'm going to be using a lot more than just a little bit. So that's another option. You could also get this and then mix that and just make it liquid enough, I guess, to be able to use it for your donuts. But when it's small jobs, I just use this. Just takes a little bit to squeeze it out. Okay. So how are things? I know it's been a while. How are things, Miss Monica? Let's see. So on this, I'm just going to go a little bit at a time. Not like I did before. Instead, a little and a whole bunch came out. And you just mix until you get the color and the texture that you want. Things are good. I'm glad. Another tip on this, if you know you're going to be making quite a few donuts like I am today, not quite a few, but a few, I would go back to the big tub that I showed earlier. If you know you're going to want a few of the same color or flavor for the fake bake. And that might make your project go a little bit faster. Ooh, new job. What you working on now? Something fun, something good, something you're happy with. I hope. Oh, long hours, huh? How are the kids? I'll make sure I hear that little click to make sure no air is getting in there. So then once we're done with this part and we have the color and texture we want, we can do a couple of different things. So I'm doing it on here because my original thought was instead of trying to take it onto the donut, I was going to come and dip the donut in here. So that's why I'm doing a little bit at a time. So I may have to go to my wonderful handy dandy bucket and just mix a lot more at once. They're doing great. Awesome. I think the hardest thing with this, at least for me, when it comes to decorating, is the most fun for me, but then I have to decide, okay, do I want sprinkles? Do I want nuts? Or how do I want to mix it? Do I want the chocolate with the nuts, or do I want the chocolate with the sprinkles? You know, decisions. So this will be our milk chocolate one. So I'm just going to grab one of these and I'm going to dunk it. Ew. And then we can fill in as needed. I want some of it to kind of come down, almost like a drip, you know, when you do the fudge and it comes down a little bit. So that's what I'm doing now. And let me know if you think you would prefer to see maybe the the top view. I normally set up, like, once I start doing the project, I start having the top view instead. So we can definitely switch to that. We can see if we might like seeing the project better that way. Okay. So this is our milk chocolate or caramel. And I'm just kind of going around and covering anything else that, you know, to make it come down. Let's see. Let me switch that view so you can see. Make sure I don't get that on the mouse. That will not come out all that easy. Okay, let's see if we can work on that. Is it? It's not moving on me. I was going to try it. Okay, let's see. Should still be able to see me to the corner somewhere, but see more of the top view of the table. So this is the fake donut with our frosting already on it. And I did kind of like a milk chocolate caramel color. And then from here, we would have to do some sprinkles. So I'm going to lay this down. And we can decide on our sprinkles. Or maybe some peanuts. Like I said, that's the toughest one for me. Trying to decide which way to go. Okay, so we have all sorts of sprinkles. This is my fake peanuts here. We can do some vanilla flakes. So it'll be something white, or we can, let's see, that would probably be better for, I don't know if we want any yellow, if we want just multicolored. Let's see, with the caramel. Or we can do some peanuts, kind of like a caramel apple. Fake peanuts, of course. I think I'm going to go with the peanuts. I don't know about the white and the yellow. Okay, and then all we do with that is just kind of sprinkle right over the top of it. Let them land where they may. Could do a little, could do a lot. Up to you. You can tap it in, just do a little tap. And with the quick dry acrylic and silicone in the mixture with the paint, it's going to basically act as a glue, and it'll keep it on there. And then once it's dry, you can go over it with some Mod Podge to seal it on in. Mod Podge. So let's see if I can lift this a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. All the way. Ooh. Cool. So this, for these sprinkles, the peanut ones, it's actually the bedding, I guess is what they call it, from the pet store for the animals. I think this one is the one for the rabbits. They're like little pebbles, and they come in a huge bag, so it lasts forever. So I've had that big huge bag for quite some time. So that's the fake bake for the peanuts. That's my shortcut for that. For the others, I've made the different color ones. I've made them myself, which I'll show that on another video. But you can use beads. When I first started, and I still have some of the beads, you know, where they have the jewelry beads and all of that, they have some small ones that you can use to sprinkle on things. So we'll be using some of those today also. The dollar store has some that are like flakes. They're like made of this like aluminum kind of sparkly, but it's more paper. It's very thin. It looks yummy. It's a good thing it has no calories, right? No calories. So this one, I mean, if it can fly away, it's like almost like very thin confetti kind of paper type thing. But they have them in different colors for different seasons. So usually when I see them, I'll grab them because they're so light, they stick very easily. And I like having that little bit of a sparkle. Although sometimes I use glitter as well. So, but let's decorate another one. What color we want? How about some strawberry? Do we want some strawberry? Strawberry, or do we want some chocolate? Let's see. Do I have strawberry? Strawberry. Got strawberry, and I do have chocolate. We got both. We can do both. All right. And I think for giggles, let's see. So I haven't mixed the other paint yet. Let me use this. So I did have it opened earlier. Okay. Not gonna, shouldn't need as much. Get tired of squeezing that little bottle. Okay, Mod Podge. So this is what I was mentioning earlier about mixing some of the Mod Podge directly with your mixture in the paint. It helps limit the cracking. And then of course, depending on which you get, depending if you want the gloss to already show out right from the beginning, you know, the glossy, or if you want the medium gloss, you decide from there. Ooh, strawberry. Mix, mix, mix. How are we doing? All right, so you'll know it's fully mixed because you'll have some paint, it'll look more liquidy on the paint side, and you'll have some of the Mod Podge on the other side, so you'll see that streak, and same thing with the paint. So you'll know as you're mixing, you'll be able to tell with the texture of it if it's all fully mixed, or if you have any lumps from whether you're using the quick dry acrylic silicone or if you're using the other. Another thing that I do, I don't know if I mentioned that before. I might have mentioned it on the first live attempt. Oh yes, I am in Florida. I don't paint the bottom, that, you know, or the top, I guess, where I'm going to be dunking it and decorating it. I just do the top. Or per se the bottom, what's going to be seen that's not decorated. So that'll give you some savings there. Some do the whole thing. Entirely up to you. No right or wrong. You decide. It's going to be covered anyway. That's what my thought. And I like doing the dunking because it kind of covers on the middle, on the inside as well. And then when you turn it over, it's a little bit thicker. And it can start rolling on its own. You can kind of move it as you need to make sure everything's covered, if you need to. I want to have some streaks. This is what I'll do here. Just kind of let it drip down on its own. Okay, trying to make sure you can see that. And see, it's already a little glossy, which is what we want. And I am using the glossy Mod Podge. Okay, let's see. Should I go ahead and do another one? Why not? We still have some of the... I'm gonna make that one darker, actually, I think. Okay, can we see? I'm just kind of moving it around to make sure it gets all the way to the level that I want it to get to on the donut. That's all I'm doing. See that? It kind of gives it, I'm hoping you can see that. See that multiple, like a multiple layer, I guess, because of the, it's trying to drip. Okay. Move this one to the side. And which do we want to, we want to do some Valentine ones, maybe. Close to Valentine. So to make this one a dark chocolate, so I won't waste this paint that I already have mixed with the Mod Podge, I'm going to add some black to it just to see about getting it a little bit darker. Nutmeg brown, I might add some of that to it. We'll see. donut already have in there. And to make it thicker, I'm going to use some of our lightweight spackle. Donut, do you? Oh yes, definitely gotta let them dry. These I started painting yesterday, last night, so that way they'll be dry for decorating today. And then the, let's see, I don't know that you got to see that. So the Model Magic. So this is the way they are originally. I normally put them in a mold using the Plaster of Paris. So that has to dry, and it takes it a day, maybe 2 days to fully dry. And then you gotta start that process. That's why I like, if I need to make some a lot quicker, I use the Model Magic, because then I don't have to worry much with the whole sanding effect and doing the pre-painting before doing the real painting like you would with the Plaster of Paris. Because you do have to wait for both to dry. While the Model Magic is hasn't fully cured, you can still reshape it, so you have to kind of leave it alone and let it do what it do. Alright, this is definitely coming out nicely with the darker chocolate color. Yay! Starting to look kind of smooth. Alright, now we go to our other two, and then we can decide what sprinkles we're going to put on. Okay. Ooh, that's really thick. It's dripping everywhere. Okay, there we go. So here's this one. Starting to drip on the sides. Oopsie, just got some strawberry on me. Okay, I think I'll do the other one as chocolate as well. I had someone put a comment on one of the videos that I talk too much when we're working on the projects. And that I should focus on the project that I'm making. So I'm trying to moderate, not too much talking, but I just don't see an instructional video not having much talking. And I like communicating with you as well. So just let me know how that goes. Drip, drip, drip. Is it dripping on that side? Okay, it's already dripping on that side. You can kind of see it a little bit. So when I don't see there's much dripping going on, I just add a little bit more and kind of lay it thick so it'll drip some more. Okay. And let that be for a bit. And the fun part, sprinkles. It's all fun. Let's see. Move the Mod Podge out of the way. Thinking with Valentine's coming up, maybe on the pink one we could do some of this. This one I mixed. It was I had, let's see, what do I still have on here? It's a mixture of all of these different beads and some red. So as you get them, like I mentioned earlier, even like if you go to the jewelry store, you can buy those little pouches of jewelry beads. So you can have the individual colors for different things. Aw, thank you, Monica. I didn't think I did, but you know. I try to not talk too much because, you know, my Spanglish gets in the way. But this is a way you can use all of your individual colors when you pick up beads, if you want to go that route instead of making your own for sprinkles, and then just come up with your own mixture and just mix your colors. So what I did was actually mix pretty much all of these except for that one, and then I added some red just to kind of give it that Valentine's look. That's what I thought. How else can I do that? I figured for an instructional video you have to do, you know, a bit of talking through the steps. You can't be quiet all the time. But you know, I figured, you know, everybody has a bad day. Maybe that's what it was for that person. These I made, and if you can see all the different colors, and I have some of them. Let's see, I have some of the yellow and some of the white left. I actually made these, I forgot what those things are called. They come in little packs that you have to shape as well, and then put in the oven, and then you gotta cut them into the shapes that you want. So I made a bunch of them in different colors, and then I mixed a few depending on what theme we wanted to go for. So that'll be another video. So let's see. For the pink, I'm thinking, what do we think? Do we want the, let's do this. Let's do some of these. Or do we want it on the brown one? Because you might not see those pinks. We can do one and one. Let's see. And I'll be able to see them as well. That's the fun part. Can barely see those. Let's see, can we see them better on the pink? Yay! And you can do as little or as much as you like. I think with this one being as wet, I may not have to do much of that. Okay. I'm gonna lift these in a minute so that you can see how the sprinkles look. So I don't think, from what I can see on the screen, they can be seen too well from the top like that. there's the chocolate one. I'm gonna take advantage that I just lifted that up and put some towards the sides where we have some of the dripping. Yay! This is why I keep some of these wipes on here. So another best thing about these, we can't eat them, so we don't have to worry about calories after all the holiday eating. And it looks like we need some more of those other long ones. I like having different shapes. That's another thing that I do on these. If I see that it's got more of the round ones, I add some of the little rectangular ones, and I'll lift one of these here in a second too. Uh-oh, got some white on that one. Yum yum, but no calories. Because we can't eat it. Okay, here we go. Here's the pink one. And I don't know if you can really see all the different pinks on there and the red. Doesn't look like, there it goes. Maybe at that angle you can. You can see some of the red. So we got white, light pink, dark pink, red. Just can't, I guess it's the way that the light's hitting it. You can see some of it that way too. And then on the chocolate one, we have, excuse me, it's like a kind of mixture of confetti. We have some blue, some dark pink, some yellow, and some white. Aw, thank you, Monica. And then, of course, we have our peanuts on the other. Let me make sure I don't put any of this dark chocolate on that. Or pink, for that matter. So that's it. And basically the same way that we decorated these that we just did is the same way that we'll do the Model Magic once it's dry, with the difference, of course, that you may want to add some more color to it, more paint, unless you're going to leave it as a bagel instead of a donut. So doing the same process, you could do bagel or donut. It's just on how you paint it and decorate it and how thick you make it. Like I did that one more like a bagel. It's a little bit thicker. So that's pretty much it. And then maybe as we do different molds, I have some macaroons drying also, so maybe we can do that another time. But gotta get back to wreaths. So we'll see. We'll keep on changing it back and forth. Let me know what you would prefer to see. Let me see if I can change back to... All right, there we go. Oh, you can see the sprinkles better that way. This one has not been painted or anything, so I'll take that one out. Then that's the Model Magic one, and these are the ones that we worked on today. So I might continue since I have some paint and stuff, some mix ready. I might do some more stuff that I have drying already, so you can check it. But this is the easy way to do the donuts, doing the Model Magic, but quick and easy with the painting if you do it this way. You could also just kind of drip it on instead of dipping it. So you could have like I use this when I'm doing my cake bakes. I put it in a in one of these bottles, so I can then just easily just kind of do it that way. So that's another option, because I like making things easy. They call so much attention, it's unreal. The shakes, let's see, I don't know if you can see them back here somewhere. You think you can. Somewhere behind me, trying to like point at it with it's not in the same direction of the camera. So let me see. These, the brownies a la mode, do well. Shakes do well. Small cakes, and definitely the cupcakes. So we have, let's see, you can do the little cupcakes, if you can see them. It's kind of little in there in the box. And you could do the bigger cupcakes with more frosting on top for all the different seasons. Like, of course, spring is around the corner and Easter and all of that. So we do have, I just showed the St. Patrick ones, some Mardi Gras ones. I just kind of match it with whatever the season and holiday that's coming up. But these, I thought, with Valentine's being around the corner, to kind of have these in the little donut boxes, you know. Kind of have, you know, the usual things. I think you look cute or something like that, to kind of add a little more for Valentine's. But yes, they do well, and they call a lot of attention, at least on this side of the realm. Alrighty, well, that is it for today. Until next time. Let me know if any questions, if there's anything you would like to see next. I know we have such a variety of things that we do. I know someone had emailed me about doing some crocheting stuff, which I can definitely do some videos on that. But I wanted to be able to put things on that discussion board so that we can get, you know, more votes in, and not just going by, you know, a couple of things. So hopefully we'll be able to do that soon. We're close to 1,000, so we're almost there. But definitely by email, if there's anyone watching that's not on the email list, do sign up for that, and that way we can make sure we send updates that way as well. So, but if no questions or anything else, I'm going to give it about a second. I know there's a little bit of a delay in the streaming. We'll see each other again, or we'll be here again next week, Friday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we'll see about what project we'll do next. So we'll hope to meet you again then. Until then, continue to create, be safe, be blessed, stay safe and liquid. Bye-bye.